Hey guys, sorry about the late live this morning. It was a complete misunderstanding. Alarm didn't go off, but no excuses. We're here today. So welcome to Dan's Stressless Saturday. So what these segments and topics are about is just challenges, some challenges and roadblocks that I saw during my transformation and currently see now. So I'm just going to basically reveal them to you. And this week's topic is the temptation and how it can ruin your goal. So basically, temptation, what I mean by temptation is sometimes going out and, saying to yourself, oh, I'll just have an ice cream, or I'll just have a piece of chocolate, or I'll just have whatever. First of all, the rule of thumb is never looking at food as good or bad. Now, the reason for that is because bad food, so-called bad food, junk food, can be good for you if it's under your calorie limit. So before we get sidetracked with that sort of a topic, don't look at food as good or bad. So the topic that I want to talk about is when you're going out and you don't know how to plan your macros for takeaway food, or you've left your lunch at home, and then there's also that temptation of how about I just have a little bit of cake, or a little bit of this, a little bit of that. The reason why it'll ruin your goal is the first time I started trying to lose weight, I was very strict, very consistent, and I was doing well for about 11 weeks. And then what happened was my job changed and my work life changed. So instead of getting up a little bit later, I was getting up earlier, and I didn't have time to get up and train in the morning. So I had to shuffle my meals around. A couple of mornings I forgot my meals because I wasn't used to it. And before you know it, you're 3 or 4 days out of your consistent routine, as opposed to 7 days in and maybe having like a half a day cheat or whatever it may be. So the first week it was no issue because I was still training like an animal, and I was working out hard, and I was sticking to the rest of the plan, but it was just like one or two days. Then what happened was my mindset was that, okay, you know what, 1 or 2 days wasn't really affecting me. I'll then push it. So 1 or 2 days became 3 days, 4 days, and then all of a sudden it was hard for me to get back onto the plan. The reason for this is because your mind naturally tends to go for, well, the foods that I was getting is just like a quick and easy. It was a very drive-through sort of a meal. Off you go. So for example, I think it was a McDonald's bacon and egg because it was on the way, and I'd get a hash brown and I might get a juice with it. So that entire meal, the calories that I needed for my breakfast were usually about 300 calories, and now I'm all of a sudden consuming 550. So it's got to give way from the rest of the meals ahead of the date. So realistically, it can turn a one off is completely fine. A 2 off, a 3 off is completely fine, as long as you understand that that there is a plan. You can go back to the plan, and it's just short term. So another thing I want to mention is how to overcome temptation. So the ways that I overcome it was I had myself a snack box. So I had a total of 500 calories in one certain small container that I had in the fridge. For example, it could have been full of chocolate, it could have been full of shortbread, biscuits, or whatever it may be. And I knew that entire container was 500 calories. Was a 500 calorie container. So whatever I take and snack from there, I would just reduce the amount of calories that I had left over throughout the day, or every time I felt like a snack. And that's it labeled. So if I ever wanted a chocolate, or if I ever wanted some biscuits or a cake or a muffin or whatever it may be, I had a limit of 500 calories for that entire week, or for the entire 3 or 4 days that I had it to consume those 500 calories. And that way, when I'm opening up the fridge, I'm not using my eyes to eat the food. So what that means is you're not using your eyes to, I'll grab a bit of this, I grab a bit of that, grab a bit of that, a bit of this, a bit of that turns into 600-700 calories. Like this, I'd go straight to my snack box and be like, okay, cool. I feel like a chocolate, I feel like some lollies, I feel like an ice cream, whatever it may be. And I gave myself a buffer of 500 calories for the week to snack on. That way, it keeps life real. It keeps your mind off the fact that you're on a diet, because it's not really a diet, it's a lifestyle. So that was one way I overcome the temptation. Another way was I planned my food. So again, when I opened the fridge, I wasn't eating with my eyes. I basically already had a container, or I already had an idea of what I was going to make. So for example, I need steak, I need stir fry, and I may need some satay sauce, or whatever it may be. I had a plan to say, okay, look, tonight I'm going to make stir fry dinner, or tomorrow night I'm going to have some chicken wings or some drumsticks or a soup or whatever it may be. I put thought ahead of time, so when I walk into that kitchen, I know exactly what I need to put on that plate. Now, I didn't necessarily have to plan it, measure it, and make it ahead of time. I guess that works as well. But the best part about it was when you walk in, I knew exactly what items I was looking for in the fridge, and I would easily just grab them and go. There was no need for me to have a look around and be like, oh, just a bit of this, bit of that, and a bit of calories here, bit of calories there. So that was one of the biggest wins that I had. I found worked for me. I mean, feel free to comment on what works for you guys. It's all about what works, really. So if it works for me, it might not necessarily work for you, but you may have a different method or a different mechanism to overcome these temptations. Another big one is binge. I call it binge eating and binge drinking. So if you've got a regular social gathering, you might be once a week, you hang out with the boys or the girls night, whatever it may be. If you've got a once a week or once a fortnight, once a month, whatever it may be, and ways to overcome you not going over your calories, maybe just have a look at the menu ahead of time and map out for that meal a rough estimator and just add 100 calories on top of that. For example, if I know tomorrow night I'm going out for dinner because it's a friend, we're going out with some friends for some dinner, and I'll try and cut back about 50 calories from breakfast, 50 calories from lunch, and 50 calories from my snacks. So I'll give myself a 150 calorie buffer. And so then I'll say roughly I've got about 600 calories. Where we're going? We're going to a pizza or an Italian restaurant. So I'll have a look at the menu and I'll say, okay, look, yep, that tickles my fancy. And that way you're not missing out on the social gathering, because at the end of the day, it's a lifestyle. You need to be able to maintain this level of this needs to be your lifestyle. So you need to do this, just a little bit of homework, so that way you're not you're still sticking to your plan and you're going to get the results that you desire. Now, thank you guys. Sorry about the late live this morning. Just a bit of an alarm mismatch, but I hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay nice and cool today, and Sydney's going to hit about 31 degrees. And I will catch you guys for the clients check in on Sunday. Make sure you do your measurements on the app and have a look at the new phases in 35-day Dan. Guys, check out the website for some more free resources. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you guys on Wednesday's Ask Dan.